Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Sword of Etheria. So Chapter 18 has a somewhat unique setup, and for that, I'm going to want to change one piece of equipment really quick, and show off the fact that, can't wear more than one piece of the same type of equipment, so I guess I'm just going to have to get rid of the strength bracelet, because I want to wear the battle bracelet so I can keep my tension gauge up as much as possible, because, well, we are going to be needing a whole lot of death blows for the upcoming stage. So, seemingly out of nowhere, we get introduced to a third faction in the game, in the form of these mysterious and numerous spider-like creatures. And for some reason or another, they seem mostly focused on killing the creations of the gods, and to some degree that makes sense, since their name is apparently heresy in English. Though, obviously, as with most of the other names in the game, they are some weird amalgamation of Latin and probably Italian. But yeah, these little spider creatures, while it may seem like it's good, they are focused on killing the frogmen and other numerous enemies that we'll see going up this hill. It's actually a bit of a detriment to our ranking because, well, as you can probably tell, these spider creatures aren't really dropping any Etheria. They will sometimes drop blue Etheria, but yeah, if you're wanting to get up that yellow Etheria, your only source is going to be from killing the normal enemies we've seen throughout the game, and that can be kind of difficult because you're not going to get anything if these spider creatures happen to kill them instead. But the good news is that since I did make sure to wear that battle bracelet, and since we have so many easy targets to do juggling, it's not too difficult to keep up your tension meter in this stage. And you can probably guess from that new little meter in the upper right-hand corner next to the tension gauge, that is going to be a counter showing just the sheer number of these heretical things we are going to have to destroy on our venture to the top of Aleutian. Yeah, that's right, this is... I wouldn't want to call this the last real stage, just because it's pretty short all in all, and it's more just a long, winding corridor up to a boss fight, but yeah, this is our last real trek through Theologia proper. And it seems a bit odd that we kind of want to throw this whole new plot thread at us, but, well, it'll be solved pretty quickly, I'll say. Yeah, all in all, just normal enemy-wise, there's nothing too difficult here. It's mostly just, well, like I mentioned before, if you're wanting to keep up your rank, making sure to kill the proper enemies and not just waste your death blows on the non-yellow Etheria giving enemies. And also making sure, as per usual, to make sure that you get a death blow on the larger enemies. Because even though they have really huge health pools, whenever they're getting hit by, 6 spiders at once, they go down pretty quickly. Which can make getting through the stage pretty easy if you're just wanting to get through it as quickly as possible. Because also, if you want to, you can just knock enemies off the side, but in the end, you're not really going to get too good of a ranking. Still, this stage is a pretty good crescendo overall. It's a nice way to see just an almost infinite amount of death blows that you can get, with a lot of simple, easy-to-kill enemies. And it's almost a bit cathartic considering how difficult some of the last couple of stages have been overall. As you can imagine, though, there is something of a drawback to just the sheer simplicity of the stage, and that's mostly, well, you can already see the length of the video, and you have to keep in mind that I did a little bit of additional editing to lower the length of the video, because the stage kind of has this one gimmick with the new enemies, and the rest of it is just walking forwards and upwards. So, yeah, I decided to do a little bit of speeding up, just because then the next bit, probably not the most exciting thing in the world. So, I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, that was a pretty tough road getting to the top, but we finally have made it.
It got awfully quiet all of a sudden.
Is this the calm before the storm?
And you want to be careful with this final ascent here, because it's pretty easy to miss this final collectible here, hidden in one of the dead frogmen bodies. But yeah, I was pretty happy with how all that went, though it went a lot longer than it probably should have. I managed to get a nice combo chain going, got a few over zeniths in there, and now it's time to fight a pretty fun boss fight in what I think is supposed to be one of the last gods.
We're surrounded.
This won't be easy.
What the? A god!
It seems the gods consider those things enemies too.
Forget it. We'll figure it out later.
And say hello to Eminataris Malorum, which... not fully sure if Eminataris is a legit word. As far as I've been able to tell, is not. But at least Malorum is. Seems to either be greed or evil, which is really indicative of all the gods as far as we've been able to tell. But yeah, this is the Wind God. He is pretty devastating, though in his initial stage here, he's not too difficult. In fact, he seems to be getting pretty easily overwhelmed by all these spiders that are latching onto his face. And that works out well for us because it gives us a pretty good opportunity to get in a quick over zenith. And you do want to do this as quickly as you can because he does have quite a huge health pool. And once he gets into his attacks, he gets to be pretty difficult to deal with. Once he is tired of taking a little spider nap, we'll go into a massive cyclone, which will then lead into a really dreadful attack. He'll start to tear away pieces of the arena, lowering the amount of area you have to fight in. And in addition to that, there's a few homing slashes with the dreaded wind blades that we see there. And a pretty difficult to dodge a dashing attack. But what really makes this fight hard overall is just the fact that Malorum here, pretty much constantly in the air and pretty much constantly in motion. So even if you do manage to connect with, let's say, this level 2 attack here, well, it's pretty easy for him to just move very slowly out of the way of it, because as opposed to most bosses and most enemies, there's not a whole lot of stun factor here. So even if we do, spoiler, when we do connect with another over zenith, still not really going to do the same amount as the first one did, which is kind of a shame because the longer you let this fight go on, the poorer it's going to go for you. Now, if you are lucky and the spiders manage to re-latch on back to the boss, you can get it to fall down again, but I found that for the most part, that is not very easy to do. the boss seems to be pretty apt at making sure it doesn't fall down again. And for the most part, you're wanting to use the spiders themselves to get up that juggle going, so you can get a death blow, because you probably want to finish this fight, like I said, as quickly as possible, because pretty soon we're going to have a lot less arena than we started out with. But we should be able to finish it off this time around. Or not. Yeah, the spiders can be pretty large detriment whenever you are in the heat of battle and you manage to misaim, let's say. And it does have one other attack in these later stages where it will start to shoot lightning down, but it's pretty easy to dodge and doesn't do too much damage. I think it's finally time to put a nail in the coffin of this evil, evil thing. So Dorothy is finally safe, and Fiel is almost to the end of his journey, as we only have one final god to take care of. But things can't possibly be that simple, can they? Of course not. See you next time.